podcast. This week I'm joined by Wayne. Wayne and I met, Sarah and I met Wayne in 2016. We bought our investment property in Blackett from him, and we've kept in contact ever since. I really wanted to sit down with Wayne and just get an idea on, I guess, how the property market's been for the real estate industry as well during 2020. Been a pretty crazy year, and Wayne's got experience in the industry, and he's definitely been through some ups and downs in the market. So,
over 40 years.
What was that, sorry?
Over 40 years.
Over 40 years. So Wayne definitely has the experience when it comes to real estate during, I guess, uncertain times. So Wayne, thank you and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. My pleasure.
You just want to give us a quick rundown about yourself?
Okay. Well, myself, I work for the Professionals here in outer Western Sydney. I've been in the industry since I was 19, thereabouts, in and out, but it amounts up to around about 40 years of time. I've done every facet of real estate. I've been in every single part there is, and now I've finished up in the selling part, which is where I've been for quite a few years, and advising people on what to do with their money, which is good, and so that's excellent. As far as the market, I think we all watch the TV, and the TV tells us what they want us to know, which is not always right. The market in 2020, and with the COVID jumping up and down on us, it's not what you'd think. It's sporadic. It's in places. Now, if you take, for instance, the area that we actually do a lot of work, which is Erskine Park, St Clair and St Mary's areas, we do a lot of work there. We're finding that because of the fact that we have new airport, universities, train stations, a very big industrial section at Erskine Park, that the market itself is not dropping to a lot of the other suburbs that are around. We're not feeling it as much. We haven't felt, as the papers say, repossessions and people falling apart and all this. We haven't felt that. And I don't think we will. I think that the market will stay steady, which is where it's at. Worst comes to worst, might drop a little, but not much. Yes, it has dropped a reasonable amount since the boom, but that happens. It's a course of action that happens all the time. As far as our market here goes, it's been very stable. We've just had we're in the midst of three very big months, which have been really good for us here. We're down to probably the only thing that might slow us is its stock levels. Stock levels are a little bit slow, and that is the one thing that could slow us down completely.
Is it slow due to maybe sellers just really unsure of what to do, or?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just that you get times of the year where the market slows, and then people have got to find other areas to go to, and naturally with the COVID, they're not going to go. We're going to lose the people that go to interstate. They're not going to be able to do it. So that in itself is going to naturally slow us down, and those people are going to sit on their houses for longer. And then we're just going to have to wait for them. But people are selling, and the amount that are selling compared to the amount of people that are on the market out here at the moment is the people that are buying. There's more of them. Just a lot more of them. We're still getting an average of 10 to 15 at open houses on good property. For properties not too good, and naturally you're going to get a little less. But that's how the market is. So I don't think you want to really believe everything that's in the newspaper. For people that are thinking of selling, if they're thinking of selling in other areas, go and talk to the agents. Don't talk to the real estate. Don't think about the newspapers. Go and actually talk to the people on the ground, because that's where it all comes down to.
It's one of the problems when people do read a lot of the papers read a lot of the news, is that they never talk about specific parts of markets. They basically just lump everything into one big market. So if something's happening, and I think they always like to use sort of within the city, close to the city, anything that's happening there, they sort of say it's happening all over Sydney, right?
That's right.
and that's why I definitely wanted to talk to you, because this area that you deal with is different to like sort of the inner west, inner city, all those different suburbs, and too many news reportings just sort of lump it all together, and that's where a lot of confusion can come for people who may be looking to buy and maybe looking to sell as well.
Correct. They think the newspapers believe that the west is Parramatta and Blacktown tops. They forget that there's some other suburbs behind there, and they're the good suburbs. They're brilliant.
Yeah.
And the market is really good. The pricing's really good.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can buy a beautiful big 4-bedroom home for what you'll pay for a unit in the city.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now that's good if you work in the city. Pay the big money, live in there. If you've got a family and things like that, you come out here. We've got great transport. We've got trains, we've got everything. Now we're going to have an airport.
Yeah.
So it's a perfect place to buy. And now, before everybody goes all of a sudden realises, hey, they've got trains, airports, they've got this, they've got that, they've got this. Let's go and buy there. Oh, prices have jumped through the roof.
Yeah, too late.
We're too late.
Yeah.
And that's exactly the thing. But no, I just think that, as I said before, don't listen to the media. Go and talk to the people on the ground. And real estate agents, they're the people on the ground.
Yeah, yeah. So with all this COVID going on, how were you guys impacted, like from the beginning when they basically said, everything's locked down and all that kind of stuff? How were you guys affected, the office?
We weren't too affected because the fact is that they made us an essential service.
Yeah.
So we actually could go out there and continue to operate.
Yeah.
All we had to do was make sure that we had all the protocols in place.
Yeah.
Now, I'm lucky that the guy that owns this, Terry Hansen, he put everything in place that you'd need to do. He split the offices immediately so that we all had a bit of everything that we needed in each office, and we didn't. And today we still don't go physically and see each other.
Yeah.
It's all done via phone, all the hookups, everything that you need. But we have all the protocols in place, as you can see by the signs that we've got here and on the desks and everything that we've got here. It's no different when we do our open homes. We've cut them down to ones. You get one family at a time through a property, and you can manage to do it. I put 15 through a property in half an hour last week. Yeah. So you can do it. Yeah. And that's the big thing. That's the thing that stopped us from feeling it as bad as what we would. Right. And as you can see, with what I was saying, we've just had some great months, and those great months are through that, and it's just because we didn't have to slow down, and people still want to buy. Yeah. And they'll still come and see you, but they adhere to what you've got to say with the COVID.
They're just different.
But it's a different setup, and if you do it right, then you won't have any issues. It's okay. Look, it's still probably a 60-40 chance that someone could have COVID and get you. But I think the way we've done it, we've pushed it out to about an 80-20 chance of us getting it. Now, if anybody gets a sniffle or anybody gets a cough in this place, right, in any of our offers, bang, you're off and get yourself tested, and you've got a few days off first to find out what's going on. And so, as I said to you, when Sarah, you said to Sarah she had to go and get tested, I said, well, listen, mate, we've got 14 days before I can see you. Yeah. And that's pretty much how it all goes. Yeah. So, so it's just pretty good. You just
being sensible about it.
Sensible's the big thing. I think you can be overly scared of what's going on, and I'm telling you now, it's not a good thing. I'm a guy over 60, and if I catch it, the chances are I won't be real well out of it. So I'm out there taking the risks. But I think that if you just use your head, don't panic. And I think panic's a big thing. I think everybody's panicking about it. They're all running around with masks. I see people driving cars with just themselves in it with a mask on. And I'm thinking to myself, that's a panic. Different if you're with people. Yeah, it's your choice. But don't panic. Just take it as it comes. Follow all the prompts. Follow all the rules, and the chances are, as I said, I think around about 80 to 20%.
Yeah.
So
So you mentioned, so with the current market, you said not as affected.
no,
You've been in the industry for 40 years, so you've seen many peaks and troughs.
I have. I've been through the depression. I've been through the recessions. I've been through the booms.
Yes.
And then the falls.
Yeah.
And now COVID.
Yeah.
And
So how does...
I missed the Spanish flu.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I'm just letting you know. Off.
So how does the market now compare to what you've experienced?
Okay, well, the market's different all the time. Okay, so forget about your booms, which come along and they just jump and everything goes through the people, and that's all panic buying anyway. But that's what people do.
Yes.
But the market now is really it's stable. If you've got something, let's say you've got a nice house.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to get a nice house if it's priced in the right price, and that's to keep it where the market is. Right, you're going to get a lot of people who want to buy it. So they'll come along and they'll buy it.
Yeah.
So you'll have, let's say you've got 10 people, so one will buy it, you've got 9 left over.
Yeah.
So you're going to go and find 9 houses like that again, which is, it's not that easy.
Yeah.
But we do get them. We do get them, but it's slow.
Yeah.
So, for instance, this month you could have 7 people give you a call and say, "Hey, listen," or you give them a call and they say, "Yeah, look, we want to sell."
Yeah.
Next month, nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Month after, 1. You just can't pick it.
Yeah.
In a climate like this, you can't pick it. But you just keep going.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing. It's persistence. As long as you're persistent, you'll keep doing it.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
It's good to know. So, we were talking before, mentioned that we bought our property in Blackett off Wayne, 2016. Right now we're sort of in sort of discussions. We're not too sure whether to sell or whether to just sit still. If we're looking at the sale route of going, what can we expect given the current climate?
Look, in the current climate, it's, and I haven't seen a house for a long time, although we've looked after it for you, but we haven't seen it for a long time. It's hard to say. Now, had you sold it during the boom, you would have picked up quite a few dollars on it. Now it's back to a level pegging.
Yeah.
Naturally, it'll give you more money than you actually bought it for.
Yeah.
With that, but look, I'd love to be a typical real estate agent and say to you, mate, you've got to sell it. You've got to sell it. You've got to sell it. Give it to me.
Yeah.
But that's not true. It comes down to your own personal selves. If you feel that it's not a burden, if you feel that you can hang on to it, if you haven't got to use the money for something else, then it's worth leaving it there for a while because this market will pick up.
Yeah.
You're not recording yet?
Yeah, we're recording and you're in the middle of it. Everybody, this is my partner in crime.
Is it? Oh, I do apologise.
That was my partner in crime, Angelo. And as you can see, we work after hours. Look, it does come down to your own, to yourself. If you think, as I said, if you think that you're going to benefit from selling it, then sell it. If you feel that it's not hurting you, you want to hang on to it, you can hang on to it a little bit. It will move. The price will move on it. There's no doubt about that. You've done your renovations to it, so that's where it comes down to. It's going to help you along the line there, and you picked it up for a good price. Yeah. So you should make some money out of it, but you've got to be 100% sure that you want to sell. You know, and I think that's the big thing, Elliot. If you've got half an inkling, I don't want you to turn around and say to me in a few months' time, "Oh, this is great, we sold it, but gee, maybe we shouldn't have." I'd rather you turn around to me and say, "Hey, Wayne, this is great. You've sold it, and this has done what we wanted it to do, and now we can do something else with it." That's how you've got to be able to think before you actually sell the property. And most people these days that are selling, as selling it for a good reason.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And you've got to have that good reason, mate, before
Yeah.
you do it. I'll help you all the way along the line, as I have done over the years,
Yes.
and told you what I think it's worth and things
Yeah.
like that. But you've got to be able to, you and Sarah, you've got to make your mind up.
That's why I've really that's why I've kept in contact with Wayne, because he isn't a typical real estate agent where having been in the industry myself a long time ago, for not that long, but and knowing sort of what goes on, it feels like it's a case of if someone says, "Oh, should I sell?" You'd have most real estate agents would say, "Yeah, I think you should sell."
Yeah, most definitely.
But Wayne isn't your typical agent, and I'll just give an example. We had our Blacker property, we did renovations, and we were going to sell, and we were talking to Wayne about selling, and Wayne said, "No, I don't think you should sell." And from that, I was like, "Oh wow!" Like it's just not. It's not very common that you would have vendors, suggest selling, and to have a real estate agent say, "No, don't sell."
No, it's not that often I say that either, right? I do look at people and I listen to what they have to say before I make a commitment of saying a statement like that. I mean, as I said, most real estate agents, and luckily I've got a good boss, because if he sees this, I could be a strike. But but no, it's to be honest. We run a very honest business.
Yeah.
We tell it like it is. Always have. And if I feel that, and if I feel with you that you really don't want to sell it and you're not going to make the money out of it, that's the thing. And that's why I said it to you, because you weren't going to make the money out of it. You would have. Now you will. Now it's given you a bit more, which is good. But that's the reason I said it. And it was your choice.
Yeah.
Whether if you wanted to sell it, I would have sold it for you, and you know that.
Yeah,
but,
definitely.
But it was your choice.
Yeah. So at the moment, within the areas that you cover, just quickly, what are the suburbs you cover? Erskine Park, St Mary's areas.
We have an office in St Mary's. It's
Yes.
quite a bit large office in St Mary's. We have our Erskine Park office here, and we also have our outer Western Sydney office, which is our basically internet office. And that office there will cover anything in the Western districts, so anything at all. At the moment, we've got one in Granville, which we picked up through that. We also have Silverdale. We've got over here at what do they call it? I never think of the suburb. We've had one at Rudy Hill. We've had Warrington, and they're all subdivisions. That these ones are. But we had a lot of units. We had a lot of townhouses, houses through that. I do a lot with the housing companies, such as Kaplan Home, Beechwood Homes, and these guys. We do a lot of work with those guys and help them out. Basically, we can sell a house anywhere. If you drew a line from Parramatta through to Campbelltown, and out to the back of Windsor and there, we can sell a house anywhere there without any problem whatsoever.
And so, what areas are you seeing there's a lot more interest in over others?
Well, right at the moment, you'd have to say Erskine Park and Erskine Park and St Clair and St Mary's, because that's the area that we've got offices in. That's the area where we have just made really good sales in. We're getting calls every day, which is fantastic. For people that want to buy, and big numbers and good numbers. So I would say that through here, Penrith, out towards Penrith, through all the suburbs that run out through Penrith, we get a lot. At the moment, we've got a really good estate up at Silverdale, which is the land up there. Like, you can buy a 450 square metre block of land for 400,000 up there. Even 385, there's a few. And the builders up there can throw a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2-garage home on a 450 square metre block, land and house all up 689,000.
In
Silverdale, that's cheap. And Silverdale, for me to leave this office and go to Silverdale,
it's not that far.
32 minutes. And that's not driving fast. So just keeping my foot off the pedal. But and the roads are just, if you've been out near the new airport, everything going out that way is just opened.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good. So they're the areas that these areas out here is where it's all happening.
Yeah. And how have you found the interest from first home buyers? There's a lot of incentives out there to encourage first home buyers to get into the market. How have you found that going?
Well, if we barrel it down to say at the moment, let's say 10 people came to an open house, 8 of them would be first home buyers, 2 would be investors.
Yeah.
And the problem that the first home buyer has, although there's all those incentives,
Yeah.
the houses aren't that cheap.
Yeah.
So they're still struggling with price.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. I've got home buyers at the moment that just walk in, and if I've got something at $650, they'll offer it to me.
Yeah.
Just to buy it. Which is a rarity at the moment. I don't have too many $650 homes.
Yeah.
But they're buying the first home buyers. Most of them out at our Silverdale block out this Savannah estate. Most of them are first home buyers that are buying out there because it works for them with the grants.
Yeah.
And the builders out there been helping them out as far as pricings go. They're making sure they're not overly priced.
Yeah.
And they are selling them, and that's what it all comes down to.
Oh, that's good. And do you find you're still getting some purchases coming through that aren't quite ready yet, like in terms of finance and...
Yeah, we're still getting people that will come out into an open home and they'll walk through and everything, and then they'll come back and they'll say, I'd like to make an offer. And he turned and said, well, but you have your finance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've spoken to the bloke behind the teller at the bank.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe you need to talk to someone better than that, which we can help them with because we've got so many finance people we do through. But a lot of them like that, and you get a lot of them. I'm just looking right now because I want to get in the next, and that was the big thing, getting in the next roll off of the grant. Because the grant rolled, as this is the second grant, we're running through the second grant now, and it stops and then it starts again. And getting into that, you'll find they'll come out and they'll go, well, we're not going to get into that because we just haven't quite got it, so we've got to wait till the next one. So that's when you'll see it happen. Yeah. And they jump into the next one. No, it's there are people out there that just can't get a house because they're not priced. Yeah. They're not in the price bracket. Yeah. So there's still a lot that's going to miss out. Yeah. I think a lot of them don't understand the grants. I think it's another thing. The grants are something that you've really got to look at them and learn to understand them a bit. I mean, a lot of people come in and they say, I can only afford $650 because I've got to pay stamp duty. Yeah. And you say to them, well, yeah, okay, so what's the stamp duty? And they say, it's $20,000. And you say, well, okay, but you're not going to pay $20,000. Yeah. For a house that's $670 because it's set on a scale. Yeah. So and that helps a lot. Yeah. I think the funniest thing I had was I've had a couple of young couples so far come out, and where we are at Silverdale, it's surrounded by the Waterboards land, which is the catchment area, and it's all beautifully treed. But like anything with trees, it has a fire rating, and they call it a bell rating. Now the bell rating on some of the blocks is 40, and on the others is 29. Yeah. I've had young couples come up to me and say, look, I can't buy that land. I said, why is that? Well, it's going to cost us another $40,000 for the bell rating. Oh, wow. And I look at them and go, it's not. It's not. What it means is that it may add $10,000 to the house. Because you can't have fly screens that are plastic; they have to be steel. You can't have this, and they've all gone, oh Jesus, well I can afford to buy now because it's not what I thought. I feel like saying, and I did ask them, where do you get that information from? I was talking to this real estate agent. Yes, So you do, but there's so much in it, and if you've got someone that knows everything that's come along to help you out with, and that's not trying to push you to buy something, but it's trying to help you buy something, you're going to have a far better and much easier ride. Yes. And you'll probably be able to buy something where other people that push are going to miss out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's no, it's really good that you say that. I think the education for a lot of people and actually understanding all of the grants
Yes, very big.
and I think a lot of people maybe just once again see a news article, see it on the news
Yes.
saying they're going to give this and this,
That's
and
right.
they just automatically think, okay, I'm sweet, I can get that. But yeah, you're right. If you actually look into all these grants and what have you, there's scales, there's requirements.
Yes.
It's not as easy as
As you
people
think.
people make it out to be.
That's true. That's true, Elliot. It's and the thing is, I think that a lot of people, especially in my industry, they don't really study it themselves. And we did. The minute we got them, the first thing we did was we read through them and we got that. Now the other thing too is if we can't, we don't advise. We just state.
Yeah.
And if for instance there's something that we don't know or you're not explaining enough, or not understanding enough, what we'll do is we'll actually send you to somebody
Yeah.
that actually can explain it to you better.
Yeah.
And that's the way we do it. It's like being a real estate agent, not a solicitor.
Yeah.
I can read a contract, right? No problem at all, but I can't advise you on it.
Yes.
Building, I know a lot about building,
Yeah.
right? But I can't advise you on it.
Yeah.
Real estate, I can advise you on,
Yes.
and that's how we work. And I think as long as you can send people to the right people,
Yes.
you do find that they can then understand and go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, you get more. For us, we get more sales because of the fact that people know what they're buying, and that's our business.
So you'd say for any first-time buyer or anyone looking to purchase property at the moment, what would you say would be some of the key things that they should know before they?
I think the first thing you've got to do is you've got to be a little bit realistic about where you're going. So the first thing you've got to know is how much money you've got, and not how much you think you've got, but how much the bank's going to give you.
Yes.
Before you really go and see an agent, go and see a property, get your heart set on it, find out about your money.
Yeah.
If you've got the money to buy that, then go and talk with the agent. Have a look at the property. I think the biggest thing a lot of people don't do is we're in the industry for a long time.
Yeah.
Most of the older agents are around. You know, we've got a wealth of knowledge in our head, and it's free.
Yeah.
There's very few things free in life, but this information is free. I tell people, like, anything you want to know, just ring me.
Yeah.
If I don't know it, I'll find it out for you,
Yeah.
and I'll put you in touch with who you really do need to know. And I think if that's the first big thing that people that are going to take that first step should do,
Yeah.
is get all the information right, walk out there. Don't think that you know. Make sure you know.
Ah, yes, very good.
That's it.
And obviously buyers, but sellers. What do you think sellers should? What key things that sellers should be thinking about right now?
I think sellers have got to look at the market trends a little bit for themselves. You've got to be careful with things like prices on windows, because prices on windows don't change. We don't change those window cards. If the window card says 600,000,
Yeah.
when we sell it, the sale sticker goes across there and it says 600,000.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily mean that it's sold at 600,000.
Yeah.
These days you can get on the internet and you can see it all, but it's in some occasions they take the price off them and you don't see what they're sold for anyway, so you're still guessing. I think that if an agent can sit and present their information to you in the right manner and show you what has been selling and what is similar, and you've got to understand that all homes, although they are similar, they're not exactly the same.
Yeah.
So there will be difference in variation.
Yeah.
And I think that if you look at that, the other thing you've got to look at is your advertising, right? A lot of agents will come in and they'll hit you for advertising, and there'll be ones that'll come in and won't charge you as much.
Yeah.
We all charge for advertising.
Yeah.
Okay, in one manner or another.
Yeah.
But I think you've got to look at what you get for your advertising, and it's like a lot of people say, look, on the let's say realestate.com, you
Yeah.
can buy a big ad,
Yeah.
and you'll see the big ad on the thing, and it's there all the time. You're looking at the big ad. But you know, it's funny, and you would have done this yourself. When you look for a house, you'll look at the big ad.
Yeah.
But you'll also look at the smaller ads.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, you know, when you hit on those smaller ads,
Yeah.
they go big.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you paid less for that ad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know,
Okay,
that's what
gotcha.
you've got to watch out for.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think they're the big things. I think with sellers also, you've got to feel comfortable with the person that you're going to sell with, because they're the person's going to be there. The person's going to be there with you
Yeah.
for the whole journey.
Mm-hmm.
Whole idea is to make it as easy as possible
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
seller. That's our job.
Yep.
We're the ones that take all the strain. The only really one thing you have to worry about is when all the offers are tabled to you. As long as all the information's given to you as we go and all that to help you make a decision, you get to make the decision.
Yeah.
The agent doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only thing you should be really worried about
Yeah.
with that. So you should be comfortable, and you shouldn't have the stress that the agent's going through.
Mm.
Whatever that agent's going through, it should not be your stress.
Yeah.
It's his
Yeah.
or hers in
Yeah.
this case.
Mm.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. But it's a pretty simple thing. It's not rocket science.
Yeah.
It's just using your head, thinking about what's been told to you,
Yeah.
looking at the person that you're with, feeling comfortable with them. If you're feeling comfortable with them, then needless to say, they may be the people to go with.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's probably a nice way to finish up. I'd like to thank you for coming on.
My pleasure.
As you can hear, like Wayne's got a wealth of knowledge. He even said it himself. If you've got any questions, he's more than willing to help you out. He said himself, it's for
Definitely.
free. And that's what we've found with Wayne ourselves, and that's why we continue to keep in contact with him to this very day. So once again, Wayne, thank you so much for coming on.
My pleasure, Elliot.
And I'll catch you up next time.
Fantastic.
No worries. Thanks,
Good.
mate.
Thanks, mate.
Hope you enjoyed that episode. I've got plenty more videos like that up on the channel. If you can check it out, that'll be great. If you did like the episode that you just watched, please feel free to leave a comment, hit the like button, and if you can, please support me by hitting the subscribe button, like the page on Facebook, and I hope to see you in the next episode. Catch you.